Hello, I'm Mr. Mcquay, and today we're going to talk about the ScrollSaw. And you're going to get the safety information so that you can use this and be safe. First thing we need to talk about is that this saw actually saws up and down, and it saws really fast, allowing you to make curves, much sharper curves than you would on such pieces such as a bandsaw. First thing before you start, you should look at the placard and read through the safety rules to remind yourself of safe procedures. When using this tool, you always have to have your safety glasses and you have to have them on when you're cutting. I have glasses on, so I'm going to be using goggles. The other thing that you have to be aware of is your clothing. You cannot have clothing that is loose, baggy, sweatshirts that the sleeves are hanging down, the sweatshirt strings hanging down, bracelets that are hanging, loose rings, loose necklaces. You have to have all that stuff off so that it can't be caught in the blade and pull you in. Make sure all the guards are in place. This machine doesn't have any guarding that is on it to keep your fingers away from the blade except for the blade guide. So you have to be extra careful when using this machine. Make sure that you keep your hands outside of the 2-inch safety zone. You can see that we have a red mark on the table to help you with that. Do not put your hands or anything else inside that zone. To adjust the blade guide, you loosen the screw here and it raises up and down. When you have your piece of work in there, you want to adjust the guide so that it puts a little pressure on your project. So I'm going to adjust it down a little bit and put a little pressure on the wood. I'm also making sure that the guide is in the middle, the blade is in the middle of the guide. And test it to make sure that it puts a little pressure on your piece of wood, but not too much pressure where it's going to be hard to push it. And that's about perfect. Make sure that you don't try to hold the project up and cut because it will push the project down and hurt your hands. The switch to turn the machine on is right here. Start, stop, and emergency stop. The emergency stop pushes in and it twists out. With this machine, it doesn't stop right away, and you're going to see that right here. It takes a little while to stop, so you have to be sure that it is completely stopped before you walk away or make any adjustments. The first thing you should do when you get ready to cut is to make some relief cuts. I'm going to use a marker and make a few on this piece. I have some on this side already. Anywhere the blade would pinch is where you want to make a relief cut. You don't want to turn the work when you make a relief cut. You want to go straight in and straight out. That should be enough relief cuts on that side for this project. Okay, to make your cuts, I marked off the relief cuts and we adjusted our blade guide. It's tight, but it's not too tight. The other thing you need to know about this machine and most scroll saws is they have a little adjustment for some air to be blown onto your wood to get the sawdust off so you can see your lines. I'm going to put my safety glasses on before I start. And on some machines you're going to see a switch up here and the switch that we showed you down there. Just have this one on and it won't affect it. You can turn the machine off using the other switch. Okay, I'm going to turn the machine on. And I'm going to make my relief cuts straight in. And right now my guide is a little too low. It's not letting me go in. And if this happens to you, just shut the machine off. Wait till it completely stops and readjust it. So mine was down just a little too far. I'll readjust it, test it, and that's about right. Now let's try that again. That one might have been a little too loose since it was chattering up and down. So let's readjust it again and make it just a little tighter so that we have less chatter. Let's try that one. And that was much better. It chattered a little bit, but not enough where it actually will make much of a difference. Let's make one more relief cut. And now I'll start making my curve cuts. Keep your fingers 2 inches away. Push the wood, turn it, push down as you go also. You can make some pretty tight turns with the ScrollSaw and cut your project out. As the pieces of wood come off, just leave them on the table. Don't try to stick your fingers in there to remove them. When you're completely done, you can shut the machine off and remove them either with your project or use a safety stick and remove them that way. Then you can take them off the table, put them in the scrap bin, and let the next person use it. Don't walk away from the machine with it running. Wait till it completely stops. Even if there's a line behind you and the next person is right there, shut the machine completely off, wait till it stops, and then let the next person use it. That's the ScrollSaw. It's great for cutting out really tight patterns. It's a fun, enjoyable tool, and it's following the safety procedures. It's a safe tool to use.